Hi, I'm Amy.
Magpies Cottage.
It's good to see all of you this snowy May 9th. No, 8th.
Hey,
Snowy May 8th. I mean, my gosh, I got snow on the deck. Oh,
yeah, when I walked out with the dog this morning, I was like, what? I did bring the plants in last night, luckily, because I bought some hanging pots. And I brought them all in the garage last night. So,
I haven't bought a pot yet.
oh,
Nothing.
well, they were on
So
sale for $6.99 at Aldi's, so couldn't pass it by.
$6.99. Well, that's a good deal.
Yeah, so I got one petunia and two impatiens.
I always hang impatiens baskets out under the trees and back.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, impatient looks really nice back there. And I usually get like the mixed ones, that have lots of different colors in, because that
Oh,
always looks
okay.
so pretty back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even I have had my Oriole feeder out, and the neighbors say they saw Orioles, but I haven't seen any yet. So I'm
Okay.
gonna have to come up with a better way to feed the Orioles, because I can't see them if they're back out on the feeder.
Okay.
So I don't know. If I were an Oriole, I'd have stayed where it was warmer anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's been cold.
it has.
I'm constantly freezing.
We're going to go right from this to 90. That happens so often.
Well, and I was chatting online with another knitterly friend, and yeah, we were talking about how we don't have spring. We don't literally have spring. We go from mild winter, that's what I call today, mild winter, to summer. And there is no spring, and everything you want to put outside, you wait. And, it's like, sometimes I've put things out as early as Memorial Day or as early as Mother's Day, but I usually wait until Memorial Day.
Yeah, me too,
So,
usually, but I got such a good deal. That's why I got them early.
oh, I'd go back. I might just stop at Aldi's today. you know.
Yeah. So,
So,
wow, what are you working on knitting wise?
oh boy, I've got 4 projects that I'm alternating, but I'm not really alternating right now because I am working on this hat, and it's just a brim right now. So let me hold that up. See, I'm in the process of unpicking the provisional cast on to do a folded brim.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't done a folded brim in a long time, so it's going to be nice and double thick. This is a pattern called CC or Copycat CC Beanie. And it was those CC beanies that were so popular all winter long. So I'm making a copycat of it, and I am using coffee beans.
How's that knitting up? You like it?
I do like it. It's certainly wonderfully soft. I'm noticing some thick and thin going on, and I'm thinking that in this hat that will be fine. But and I'm wondering if I shouldn't have gone down a needle. But then again, I'm knitting a twisted rib, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
Because I think twisted rib tends to separate and stay out.
Oh, yeah.
And so
yeah, it stays
with
flat.
this, but I mean, I can like see holes when I pull it apart. And I think that's the nature of the stitch.
Okay. Now you're using the 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Well, when you knit this stuff up, what do you usually use?
7 or 8.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, I'm on a 7.
Yeah.
Well, when I get to the body, because this being double thick, it'll pull in and it'll be head hugging in naturally because it's double thick. But when I start knitting the body, and there you're alternating between rows of purl, rows of stockinette, and I don't remember what else. So with all those different stitch patterns going on, I'll see what it looks like. And if it looks too loose and isn't head hugging enough, I will probably just go down a needle. Okay. It'll be fine. Okay. But yeah, so I've got that going on.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my wish and hope, and I'm about one repeat away from section 6 being done. So there is section 6. I like this one. All the different sections that are, and they have this knit one below stitch in it. All of them are different. So this one's got this nice ridge in it, and
Okay.
that alternates between the sections of the, and here is the straight parts. So you can kind of, I don't know if I can get that up there on the camera thingy. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
And so then down here, when you're doing the stripes here, it pulls in naturally because it's a slip stitch.
Yeah.
But I did go up to a size 6 needle, and the rest of this is knit on a 4. So I'm thinking it will all block out.
Okay.
If it doesn't, it's going to curl funny, but the curling might be just fine when you wear it anyways. So I'm not even worrying about it. I know that, with the camera and the computer monitor and all that stuff, you really can't see the alternating colors very well.
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, they do alternate nicely. And this thing just screams spring. So I'm pretty happy about it. So
Yeah.
I've got that going on. And then I have my Laura Ayler, she does a monthly knit along.
Mm-hmm.
And I had these 2 skeins in stash since 2015, maybe. And it's Collinette Jitterbug. I bought them on a clearance, got them really cheap. But it's a sock yarn with a nice tight twist. So it's got good stitch definition. But it's brown and olive green. And I want you to think deep forest, like you might see in the rainforest parts of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that dark with the moss and that color.
Yeah.
Because that's what this reminds me of. And the pattern of the month for Laura Ayler's knit along is the woods in winter. Now, what's kind of cool about this is every now and then the skein has a fleck of gray.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, that's a first snow kind of color, if you ask me. So this woodsy green brown combo is I don't know, very woodsy in my mind. And then the pattern has this leaf stitch. I don't know if you can tell because it's so dark.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a triangle, a wedge, or more of a wedge, and on one side you've got the leaf stitch going up, and there's a decorative stitch over here, and then when you get at the other end and you bind off, there's going to be another edge stitch like this one.
Okay.
So it calls for 2 skeins of this yarn, and I happen to have 2 skeins of this yarn, and it is a sock yarn. And personally, I have knit socks out of this yarn for Ron, and they held up pretty well. So I know it's a good sock yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I'm working on that, and I will tell you, I love this pattern only because it has a 36 row repeat. And at least right now, because it's not majorly wide, I can get that 36 row repeat done in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And so I do a repeat a day.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Now that's not always going to remain the same,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that this is going to get wider. But the stitch count, as far as shawls go, the stitch count on this one, well, you know what? And the same thing is true of Breathe and Hope. The stitch count never gets, 500 stitches.
Mm-hmm.
It gets, this one I think is the highest, like 220. That's an okay row length.
Yeah.
Without, because my 4th project that I'm working on is this test knit, and it's not a secret test, so I can show you. And it is a Lisa Ross pattern, and it's one of those crescent shawls that has immense number of stitches as you get towards the end.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm on an olive green kick apparently, or a green kick. Because all three of my shawls that I'm working on have some green in it, which is really kind of weird. I mean, I love green, but it just is odd that they're all there. So it starts out with the olive green, and you had this in the shop. This is that Jilly with cashmere. I bought this ages ago. And I never knew what I was going to knit with it. I just love the color, so I bought it. And then I found in my stash, this is also Jilly. So it's a single ply, but it has more of a lime green with an olivey cast to it. Speckle in with the pinks. So, and then the base is kind of a grayed color that looks good with the green. So right now you alternate, there's a couple garter bands in there of the speckle, and then there's this big eyelet section of the speckle. And now I've put on this green section. The next part is what's called thorn stitch. I know it's mosaic-y. I haven't knit it yet. So I have no idea how to knit this thorn stitch. I'm sure it's just a matter of knitting and slipping and doing all the things in the right order. I'm not thinking it's complicated by any means. But then you're alternating the colors within this thorn stitch, which really brings your green and your pink together. And then after that, there's another section, I think, of stockinette with the green, and then you're done. So it's a long crescent, and I'm thinking the ends will curl on this one too. So yeah, and this one, I don't know when the test is not due until the end of June. I'm thinking I'm going to have it done before the end of May. At least that's my goal. I want these, all three of these shawls off the needles, you know, by the end of May. So we'll see how I do with that. But so that's what I'm working on. And then I, of course, have a queue a mile long, but we don't talk about that. So what are you doing?
Right now I'm untangling yarn. It looks like the vacuum got it or something.
Oh my gosh.
All like twisted.
Hey, what's Roomba been up to?
yeah, that's just it. I think it was Roomba. And I didn't remember. But what this is I started this for Aubrey, for my granddaughter. It's all my scrap purple yarns, and I'm just crocheting it, and I start a new color on each row, and I leave a tail on each end. And it's just double crochet. And like where down here the yarn wasn't worsted, so I added a mohair with it. It's just all my scraps and all in purples. So it's probably a project that's going to take me 2 or 3 years. But that's what was near me while I was sitting here. So that's what
So what's it going to be?
An Afghan.
An Afghan?
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. And the ends, I'll just leave that fringe hanging. Ooh, where did that end go? Yeah, I'll leave the fringe hanging. I'll knot them together. Maybe I'll thicken it up a little too. Depends how it looks. Otherwise, just cut it off as a fringe.
There you go.
So, yeah, so I'll have a little Afghan for Aubrey. So, but what I was working on was my descent cowl.
I want to see it.
I showed it last week, and I have it done now, except for the ends need to be woven in. And that's the back. This is the front.
Oh my gosh, do I love that.
Yeah. So it's made that you can wear it tucked in if you want, or just have it stand up straight. The front is different than the back because the back has just this plain area on the bib part, and then the front keeps getting wider and wider as it goes down. You'll see
I love that.
little squares get bigger and bigger as they go down. So I made mine a little different than the pattern. I casted on only 120 stitches instead of 144 because I wanted it to be like this, tight on my face when I wanted it tight on my face.
Okay.
That makes this a little smaller, you know, but that's
Right.
for me. And then if you want, you can pull it down. You know, so if I'm inside, I can pull it out down, or outside, pull it up. Or these days with things the way they are, when you go in a store, you have to put something on your face. So I made it a little smaller for myself. And I made this a little bit taller. I think 2 repeats taller with this.
Okay.
So I did modify it a little bit, but the basics are pretty much, you know, there it is. I love it. I love the coloring and the patterning. It's all beautiful. And I will be making kits up this week so that they'll be available next week. So yeah, I'll block it, leave my ends in.
I should start mine.
This
I
week,
love that thing.
what I'm featuring in the shop for sale is my bridger cowl I made. Now this is hard to show on camera.
I love that though. I've seen it in real life.
And yeah, so
Oh, I love that.
but yeah, and so this, what you do is you hold one mohair. I'll show you what I had. One mohair, which is totally blowing out, and one of these. This one is Rossetti Cotton Gold. It's a cotton thread, a glitter thread, and sequins. Maybe I should put it back here. You can see it better.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to see, but the first time I ever saw anything like this, the yarn rep from Knitting Fever had brought it in. He put these 2 colors together, these 2 reds, and he just had a little rectangle swatch, and it was gorgeous. Now this one is a different brand than what I use. This one's Ella Ray Sequinicity. So I think those 2 are pretty interchangeable. This one doesn't have the glitter, but it has the cotton and the sequins. That one's gorgeous. And then I have some other colors of the Rossetti Gold. I don't think I have them all here, but I have black with silver. I have black with gold. They're all on the website. And then I have all these colors of mohair over there. Red,
Oh my gosh.
white, gold, black, burgundy, pink, and blue. So yeah, so that's what I'm featuring this week in the shop I have up front. Not that anybody can come in and see it, but
I get it.
yeah, I put it in the newsletter, send it around for people to get a look at it that way. So I like the way this fits on my neck. That would be warm in the winter. It just stays right there. So, you know, don't droop down and let the wind come in.
Right. Right. I think that is just beautiful. I know. Well, I've seen that one because I saw you working on it, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, and you know how you want to put, like, you want to go to a Christmas party or a New Year's Eve party, and you're not dressing ultimately fancy. You know, it's not a dress up occasion. It's jeans and a sweater or something kind of occasion.
Yeah.
But yet you want to put something on that's sparkly.
Yeah.
That cowl is perfect.
Thanks. And I think, you know, these 2 together would make an excellent wrap too. Or,
you know, they would.
A tiny little shrug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you just have one of those shrugs for your shoulders. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's really neat.
Yeah.
So
I never, you know, and it's funny because you don't, when you think of like the novelty yarn, certainly like the cotton with the sequins on, I mean, that's a novelty yarn. And I bet you there are, you know, people wonder, well, what the heck do I do with that stuff? There you go. Now you know.
Right. I walked past both of these yarns a million times, you know, I never thought of anything of putting them together until I saw that sample.
Yeah.
And then I had to make it right away.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yep.
It's my pile of projects here.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, I was going to ask you. I didn't get when we zoomed the other day for knit night. I didn't get on, and you were gone already. You got your list of UFOs done?
Yeah, yep. And it's half or 5 quilts and then 7 knitting projects.
Okay, well, you know what? Believe it or not, I had a hard time finding 12 UFOs that I actually plan to finish
Right.
because I found other UFOs,
Uh-huh.
but it has been my intent all along to frog them. So it's like, well, shoot, now what am I going to do?
Well,
So,
on Cindy's list, she has frog this vest that she completed, and she knows she'll never wear it because it doesn't lay nice and it doesn't fit nice. So that's one of her UFOs is to frog this project and save the yarn.
hmm.
So you could put that frog on there.
Well, now I found my 12 UFOs.
Oh,
So, yeah. So maybe you should throw it out there what we're all doing with this. This is kind of fun
yeah,
because other people, might want to join along with us.
sure. We'll just have to make sure we mention it, the number. We are making a list of 12 UFOs that our Thursday night Zoom meeting people are doing this. We made a list of 12, and then every first of the month we're going to draw a number, and whatever that is, you have to do that UFO, finish it that month, or at least work a good chunk on it that month. And so what you got to do is just write a whole list of 12 UFOs, not something you plan on finishing, this week or next week. We're talking about stuff that's been sitting in a project bag and just needs some love. Write down 12 of them. And this month, the number drawn was number 1. So number 1 on our list is getting done right now.
Hmm. Well, my number one is the meshed hat.
Oh, okay. That's where
We,
you cable it with 2 different colors.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I had started one for our class that we taught,
Mhm.
and I'm about half,
Okay.
maybe. So what I'm finding is very interesting between knitting this copycat beanie and that meshed hat, and then I knit a cabled hat, probably a month, little better than that ago, because I had leftover yarn from a sweater, and I knew that yarn would make a nice hat. So I knit that hat, and all of a sudden I'm developing, I've never done this, a gift box.
Oh, okay.
So all of these things I am putting in the gift box.
Mhm.
And so when I do a quick project, like I like, when I finish a big project, I
Mhm.
like to do something quick and little for the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Sure you get it with the big project, but I mean, I like to alternate between big and little, big and little.
Mhm.
So when I finish a big project, I do a little one, and I'm thinking, I'm going to do all these hats. I did some stash diving. I found some Lion brand Heartland in my stash that I bought God knows when, I
Mhm.
mean, but it's acrylic, but you know what? It's perfect for the gift box.
Yeah.
And so when I have my family here at Christmas time, I'm going to open the gift box and say, okay, guys, these are things I've knit in the last year. Help yourself. So
Mhm.
I can't, I mean, and I'm going to put, I'm going to put socks in there that I've knit that don't fit my feet right, but they'll fit somebody else's.
Mhm.
What I've noticed when we do our gift exchange, okay, my family, my siblings always do a white elephant gift exchange.
Uh-huh.
And when we do this, I usually put in my white elephant something that I've knit that for some reason isn't quite right. Now, it's never because it's a mistake or not knitted correctly, because I always knit it correctly. I mean, it's not that kind of thing. But let's say I knit a pair of socks and the socks are too big.
Yeah.
So last year, that's what I did actually. I had this pair of socks that I really liked the socks, and I liked the pattern, and I love the yarn, and I will get more of that yarn someday. but they were too big. I must have been going crazy when I was knitting the foot. And so they were just too big on my feet. So I put them in there, and my niece got, well, and see, we can steal, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So my niece gets these socks, and she says, oh my gosh, the perfect socks to wear with Birkenstocks. Well, yeah, hand knit socks are the perfect socks to wear with Birkenstocks. So I was really, I noticed that. And then one year I knit when a Packer beer mug,
Mm-hmm.
and my gosh, the way they were stealing the Packer beer mug back and forth, I'm thinking, you know, as I thought about this, I'm thinking every year they fight over something that's hand knit.
Uh-huh.
Remember the year we knit those really long cowls based on the Packer score?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I knit one that year, and it was so long, not something I would wear. So
Right.
I put it in the gift box, in the gift
Oh, I
exchange.
can
They
imagine.
fought over that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am going to put things in the gift box.
And you know, that's nice to have in case all of a sudden you need an exchange gift for work, or, you know, a quick present for your bowling league, or, you know,
Hmm.
stuff like that you need a quick present for. So you'll have stuff made.
Yeah, so that's what, so right now I've got a couple pair of socks in there, and
Mhm.
that hat that I knit, and then some fingerless gloves in there. I'm going to put some mittens in there because I want to do a little more experimenting with the Selbu stuff. And I've got some, I bought it, oh, before you own the shop. They had this stuff called Smart Garn. It's from
Okay.
Norway, I think.
Okay.
Okay, it's European anyways,
Yeah.
but it comes in like a 50-gram ball, and it's a DK weight.
Uh-huh.
And they had it out in the sidewalk sale one year, and I must have bought 7 or 8 skeins of this bright red. Well, it's like a berry colored red, not a Christmassy red, a berry red, and a purple. And the two look really good together.
Okay.
And so I bought oodles of this, and it's sitting in stash. Well, this Smart Garn is great for like a Selbu mitten. It's nice weight. It knits up similar to the Kenzie. So for the DK weight version of the Selbu mittens, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm going to knit some of that up. And, you know, I've been really trying, you know, well, I'm not quite negative on my yarn purchasing versus yarn using,
Oh, yeah.
but, you know,
Yeah. It's the beginning of the month. We should have talked about that.
yeah, well, I'm not there, but
Okay.
I have purchased more than I've knit this year. But you know what? I think there's a flaw in my system,
Uh-huh.
because when I have leftover yarns, like, you know, let's say from a sweater, or, well, like when I finish these shawls, there's going to be bits and pieces left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I take out of stash exactly the yarn I used, then my stash is never going to be negative, because I always have the leftovers.
Yeah.
But the leftovers, I don't feel it's fair to count leftovers as stash, because
No,
I'm not really stashing it.
no, I would only count full skeins of stash.
So I'm going to reevaluate how I put things on my takeaways, because I was putting down the exact yardage used,
Uh,
and that's not fair, because, well, when I finish this hat and I have a schnibble or two left of that coffee beans,
mm-hmm.
I want the whole skein gone out of my stash.
Right.
And the schnibbles I'll just use when I need a schnibble for something, you know?
Uh-huh. So I it
So
count as out of your stash, but when you get to things like stash, you don't want to count the whole skein.
right. And so I will have to figure out. So what I'm going to do then is on my Ravelry stash, which is where I keep my stash dash totals.
Mm.
Okay. Um, in there, I'll keep my exact meters,
Mhm.
or because stash dash is meters. But in my spreadsheet where I'm keeping my in and out,
Uh-huh.
there I will put full skeins, I think.
Okay.
So the two totals won't be the same, but I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
So at any rate, so that's what I'm doing. But yeah, if I would go back, then what I'm going to do is go back to the beginning of the year and look at my finishes, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to adjust the yardage on them so
Mhm.
that I get full credit for the full skein, unless I reuse the yarn in a different project. Because, like, for example, that one hat I did was leftover yarn from a sweater.
Okay.
So, well, that yarn I should leave in stash then because I'm using it. It's
Mhm.
not a true leftover. It's the bits and bobs that I don't really have a use for.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay. Well, this was just a quick check-in. If you don't have any other things to show, maybe we can sign off for this week and hop back on next week.
okay, sounds good.
All
All
right.
right. So, bye, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye.